So in this week's Parshat, Ra'ei u'noichi noisen afanechem hayoim b'rocha u'klolo. Ra'ei is a loshen yochid. Lefnechem is a loshen rabim. So why does the pasuk go from loshen yochid to loshen rabim? Let me share with you two thoughts. I heard many times from my great Rebbe, the Tzanzer Rebbe Zechat Tzaddik Levrocha, the Divrei Yatzav, quoted the Chofetz Chaim. I never checked it out historically, but that's what I heard from my Rebbe, that the Chofetz Chaim said that the Malamed, the teacher of Leibel Borenstein, also litness aden for the millions that were lost to the Jewish people because he neglected his Talmud. Who was Leibel Borenstein? Leon Trotsky, one of the leaders of the Bolshevik Revolution, was a Jew. And as a child, his name was Leibel Borenstein, and he learned Cheder. And obviously, his Malamed didn't do a very great job. So the Chofetz Chaim said he bears responsibility for the millions that were lost to the Jewish people as a result, an indirect result, of what the Malamed did or did not do. Midat toive merube midas paronis. The Ohr HaChaim says regarding the miyaldis u'ivrios shifra and puo. Vayitev Elokim lemiyaldis veyerevu am. So the Ohr HaChaim explains veyerevu am. They had shishu b'keres echad. They multiplied by leaps and bounds, and that is to the benefit of the miyaldis, because they are rewarded not only for the little children that they saved and they did not kill and destroy, but all their children and grandchildren and all their descendants. That is added on to the reward of the Mialdos. Goes both ways. You bear responsibility not only for the direct acts and deeds that you do or do not do, but also indirectly. Latav ulamutav. To the better and to the worst. Ra'ei u'noichi noisen lifnechem. Another thought. Some of us think, if you're a great Talmud Chacham, you're a great Masmid, that's enough. You don't need to care for others. Medrash Tanchume Parshas Shoftim, Parshas Mishpotim. There's an amazing story, an amazing Medrash about Rav Asi. Rav Asi was one of the greatest Ameron. And before he passed away, he was bitterly crying. And as Talmidim asked him, Rabbi, lama tu boicha? What do you have to be afraid of? Why are you afraid? Why are you crying? Is there any part of Torah you didn't learn? Is there any part of Torah you didn't teach? You were such a masmed. Nimno ha'isom alased ba'olim chaverecha. You weren't toisik b'tzarchat sibah because you were such a masmed. And Avasi says, that is why I'm crying. And that is what I'm afraid of. I wasn't toisik b'tzarchat sibah. We have not come to this world just to care for ourselves, for our ruchnias, for our oilam haba. No. Reb Itzele Mevaloshin, in his Akdome to Nefesh HaChaim, quotes what his great father used to give him, Musa. Reb Chaim used to give Musa to his son, and he says, you don't do enough for others. You don't care enough for the tzibur. We have come to this world not only for our own benefit, not only to care about our own oilam haba. Going back tens of years, I remember when my great Rebbe was miyaset koil shas and mifal shas, and he had these huge ideas and plans to bring the idea of Chazorah and of covering a lot of Bekiyas to the Torah world. And I remember I once was in his room and somebody said, there's another Koil Shas here and another Koil Shas there, and he thought that the Rebbe would be disturbed, and he was so happy, and he said, I cannot eat the entire Leviathan on my own, with a touch of humor. And he says, I'll be so happy to share with others. So he was so happy that it is not only he, but he inspired others to do the same. So we have come to this world not only to care for ourselves, we are all part of one huge people. We all serve the same purpose. We are all here to Mimakadesh Shem Shemayim, and we need to care for one another. And Gedol Yisrael spent so much time just caring for others. So Ravasi was crying, and his Talmidim didn't understand why. You learned all day and all night. You were the greatest masmid. You never even wasted your time in an Yonei Tzibur. And Ravasi said, that is not a waste of time. That is a chiyuv. It's an obligation. And I wasn't Yotzei Yedei Chayva. I did not dedicate enough time for Tzarchet Tzibur and for others. Yisachar Vayar Elakim Ki Toiv V'yeit Shichmoi Lizboil. Chazal say, it's not Chazal, the Seforno, Ol Torah v'Oil HaTzibur. So Yisachar was the Shevet of Torah, and in Medrash Shabbat Parshat Nosoi, Chazal say Yisachar loved Torah more than all the other Shvotim, more than all the others. But Yisachar, V'yeit Shichmoi Lizboil Oil Torah v'Oil HaTzibur. All Torah is not enough. Seder Hayam, that amazing, magnificent Sefer. Seder Tisha B'Av, and I'm just reading his Lashon. Elo Zika Bedas Lahakima, Ulaharima, Hema Nakrom Amud Shamayim, Vehema Tzokei Eretz, Vehema Mamidim Eskol Olam Kuloi. ויש להם זכוס כמוישה רבינו בדיירוי. Moshe Rabbeinu taught us Torah. Moshe mepi agvura. Moshe Rabbeinu also carried us in his lap. Kasha Yisrael oimenes ayonek. He was the leader of Klal Yisrael, with love and compassion and caring. Yesh lem schis Moshe Rabbeinu b'doiroi asher zocho v'zikes harabim. V'hem ha-mitziim yokor mizoylel yesh ma'ayin v'hem shutafim leboire yizborech shemoi b'brias ha'olam u'b'hamadosoi. Aval lo mekol echod rav or rabban. But if everyone would say a rav or a ramban, every rav, every talmid chacham, every gadol will say shalom olay nafshi. ולהסתגע בתוך ביסי ללמוד או לעסוק בחפצי שמיים, לא זו הדרך הרצויה בעיני השם. We're here to care for each other. ראה, each and every one of you, אונכי נויסן לפניכם. You are part of a much greater entity. It's not only about you. You are part of Klal Yisrael. Each of you has his family, his community, his chaverim, his neighbors, his people. And we are here to care for each other. Ishes re'eu yazero, ola ochev yoimer chazak. Shakadosh Baruch Yerachem aleinu, we should take this magefa away. We should only know days of simcha and naches, barias gufa v'nohira ma'alya. Kadosh Baruch should send a refuah shalem ala choylei amo Yisrael. We should share b'soirei stoivis, and we should be zoicha b'koref tobias Moshiach tzedkeinu b'mheiro v'yomeinu. Amen.